today. Maybe some and many of you have already participated to the other talk that we have had, so we will try to be a bit concise. And the first part will anyway deal with the frame of the Ontochain action and with a particular focus on the open call 1. Then Marco Chiaramella will speak about blockchain, especially the field of application, the challenges, and he will give also some application examples. Then the floor will be yours. Any thought, any idea, any question that you have, please share with us. This webinar is also done for that. So if I may recall, Ontochain in brief. Ontochain is traceable and transparent ontological knowledge on blockchain. This is a European project funded by the European Commission, and it is also part of the Next Generation Internet Initiative. Ontochain was launched in September 2020, and the goal was to empower innovators and end users through 3 open calls to develop blockchain-based knowledge management solution that will be part of a novel protocol suite and software ecosystem for a better share of knowledge and value. Up to for the 2 million euro funding will be distributed along with a mentoring program with best international experts in semantic web, linked data, ontology engineering, blockchain interoperability, knowledge management, distributed and decentralized computing, business model for trust knowledge, and so forth. The Ontochain concept. So today people should be empowered by means for collective organization, as well as for contribution and use of knowledge, thanks to solutions that support transparency, trust, plurality, and democracy. The goal of Ontochain in this context is to elaborate an ecosystem of novel software used to build trustworthy application with advanced knowledge management mechanisms for various domains such as health, economy, mobility, public services, energy and sustainability, news, media, entertainment, industry 4.0, tourism, etc. So our backbone is the merging of semantic web and blockchain, and the architecture of the Ontochain ecosystem rely on different layers that you can see on the figure on the screen. So the cascade funding and the objective of each of the 3 calls. So the call 1, namely research. The goal is to establish the Ontochain framework as a human-centric, decentralized, and trustworthy solution based on the available technology. The call budget is 1.40 million euro, and the call will be launched very soon, so beginning of November. The call 2, protocol suite and software ecosystem foundation. Here, the objective will be to build the Ontochain concept for the creation of a trustworthy information exchange process and a more transactional content handling, and to create the Ontochain framework prototype. The call budget is 1.32 million euro. It will be launched in 2021 and will bridge with 2022. For the call 3, application and experimentation, The objective are to exploit the Ontochain solution for real-life use cases. And the call budget is 1.75 million euro. It will be launched in the last year of the Ontochain project, so 2022-2023. You will benefit during this call of, as I already said, of a mentoring program, and you will have also the possibility to access specific infrastructure. If we focus more on the call one now, so I just recall the objective. They are to establish the Ontochain framework as a human-centric, decentralized, and trustworthy solution. We have organized this call around 6 topics. So you will have to choose one of these 6 topics and propose your research project based on the requirement of these 6 topics. Everything is explained in the guide for applicant, and you will have access to this guide as soon as the call will be launched. So the first topic, namely the application, it is to define a typical Ontochain application or service for trustworthy content handling and trustworthy knowledge and information exchange. The topic 2 is about semantic interoperability. You will have to develop a trustworthy, privacy-preserving, secure, transparent, democratic, and traceable approach to manage access and operation over ontology, metadata, data, knowledge, and information. The third topic, on-chain data management. The goal is to design and develop a set of prototype functionalities for on-chain data management. For the fourth topic, off-chain knowledge management, here the goal is to design and develop initial prototype for off-chain knowledge management that support the various identified use cases and application domain of the Ontochain project. Then for the fifth topic, ecosystem economy, the idea is to provide a market framework and business model for the operation of ecosystems such as the Ontochain one, and this based on technological area addressed by Ontochain, so blockchain, semantic web, Internet of Things, and so forth. The last topic, ecosystem scalability and integration. The idea will be here to build a semantically complex and dynamic ecosystem, as well as a decentralized testing environment with the participation of diverse stakeholders. And of course, a key requirement, which is to integrate and support the initial Ontochain application. So for the call one, there will be 3 phases. The phase 1, namely research proposal, that will last 3 months. Up to 18 projects will be selected, covering the 6 challenges. So you will have to propose a research project for one of these 6 challenges. The phase 2, research award, 5 months. 6 projects will be retained from phase 1 based on their quality. You will have to further elaborate the concept proposed in phase 1 and prepare design specification that will be implemented during the open call 2. And then phase 3, challenges for conferences. It will last 1 month, and here we will select the best publication, whatever the phases, and per challenge. Okay, so now I have just tried to recap some frequently asked questions. So I guess that maybe it's better now to switch with the Marco presentation, and then we will come back to this question and try to have an interactive discussion around this, if you don't mind. So maybe Marco, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Caroline. Okay, I'm sharing the presentation in full screen mode. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's start. Okay, so welcome to my presentation. I am Marco Ciaramella from IntelliSemantic, one of the 7 partners of the Ontochain project. I would like with this presentation to share some ideas about the possible application in the context of blockchain to stimulate the discussion. Yes. Okay. For the perspective of application development, you can build, first of all, something that is transaction oriented. Stressing the idea of openness and public services. An example is the case of procurement of public entities, for example, like hospitals and so on, to have guarantees about the availability of drugs and their fair price and so on. Or similarly, other kind of useful data from public services, like the number of beds available and so on. Another example here is about the public hubs, like airports, where can be many actors, public and private, to be coordinated on the basis of shared data and shared agreement that can be varied at the moment, as in the case of incidents, bad weather, and so. But another element of the application are the kind of data they store. The data is also important. Some data can be exchanged between different actors. For example, as in the case of energy trading in the smart grids, when you have a distributed energy generation, but no or little energy storage, so you have to constantly exchange data to make the grid running correctly. Another example is the case of clinical trials that involves health data to be shared and verified and approved by a lot of different actors in a process. Charity donation are another example of where the transparency around the data and their verification along their paths is crucial to give credibility to charity initiatives when they come to the right beneficiaries and for the right reasons also. Other kind of application can provide a verified public register, for example, archives. Different cases can include energy certificates or information about the real estate owned by public entities, for example, like municipalities or banks, another example, or work of arts in public museums, or documents from historical archives. Okay, the same process can involve also private data, like health data, as said, or semi-public data, like testaments, because it is an example of a document whose presence in a public index is very, very useful, of course. Okay, and generally speaking, a good idea, as pointed out by Anthony, is to find the one thing that is impossible to do without a blockchain. What the blockchain does better is persisting data after a consensus. And then we can find some examples. Yes, public transaction issues. There are some cases. The double spending problem is a very important case, and public register with the consensus of many actors. Okay. This slide is about the difference between platform and application. Of course, some platform is built on the top of another platform, for example, to add some feature. On the top of some platform can be built also application and in a development environment. In this context, application are platform dependent. So you have to choose first under which platform to make a development, for example. An application can be a simple script for data science purposes, for example. But blockchain world include also complex enterprise application, like in the case of supply chain management. Okay, and yes, an example of enterprise application are, for example, in the field of electronic invoices. I think it is a good example. For example, this field involves more and more countries in the EU, and different companies are working on there. The advantage of an efficient and rapid processing on invoices is a concrete advantage for the user, for the environment also because it is paperless. But moreover, another concrete result is to lower the fiscal evasion on invoices, for example. Then we have food traceability is also a case that involves also big players, a smaller one just now. Vehicle sharing is something that can involve both private fleet and public transports. So a company working in this can have different targets. Energy trading in principle, the distributed energy of energy as typical made in renewable energies make this useful. And also here the context is interesting. But notice, last notes, is that some ruling and regulation are coming also at the European level. And the scenario is constantly evolving at high speed. Some more ideas about the new services to come. An interesting topic is all the new strategies to support welfare in a more advanced way with a higher level of trust. Generally speaking, the idea to promote a trusted interaction between the data and the elaboration of the data is leading to make artificial intelligence application more verifiable by humans at any step. And this is a crucial topic of artificial intelligence topics. Okay, open issues. For example, searching for Dapps, distributed Dapps, is not so easy at the moment. I mean, it's not easy as a Google search. And there is a lot of work to do here, probably. Also, in the case of elaboration data shared in different silos of our application. So there is a space for working on these topics. And about accessing data on the blockchain is something that can be improved, taking some ideas from also other existing infrastructures. You can, of course, accessing a public blockchain, looking for a specific transaction, but perhaps that could be improved in many ways. I don't know, probably. Sidechain is a way to access some data, often private data, but also interaction between different sidechain could be probably interesting in some use cases. Accessing and sharing data could benefit from the existing internet, in particular in the case of structured data also. And in this case, it will be probably interesting to come back to the ideas to publish data as linked data in a more concrete way, a more generalized way than the present. And last slides are the credits. I would thank Anthony for useful discussion and suggestion, but often eventual issues are mine. And thank you for attention and eventual feedbacks. Okay, I finished my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. So there is already a question for you from Donato Russo. What about auditing and blockchain? Would auditing authorities accept data stored on a blockchain as valid auditing material or not?
Well, I'm not an expert of regulation, so I cannot answer very detailed. And it is just a discussion. So if there are some people asking that have more experience, is welcome. But I notice just that the electronic invoices, it is something that can be ruled, and there are some rulings that are under study. I did not mention the finance world because the literature is very huge, but I can see at the glance that, for example, the central banks of all over the world are making hard studies about this kind of regulation. So it is something that is evolving, but it will be, of course, more and more interesting in the future. Of course, the regulations are different depending on the fields you are working in. Finance is very strictly ruled industry also in the past, so it will not be changed. The rules will be different, of course, but the rules there will exist. So it depends. I as a developer, my point of view about this is about the if to make or not to make a new application. Well, probably it will depend also by the use. So if we make some experiment, we are relatively free to make these experiments, and probably if we find something useful, the rule will follow.
Maybe I could add in this to this answer of Marco.
Yes, it's a discussion. So I like to open the discussion to any of the participants. So please, Vlad, you always say a lot of interesting ideas. And
well, I wanted to say that one of the scenarios we have in the project, imagine you have traffic lights and you have a sensoring system in the traffic lights, and there is an accident happening. So in that case, different sensors will be capturing a lot of information, and that can be used, for example, in the system, in the public, let's say, in the court, to define who did wrong on when an accident happened at the traffic lights. So the whole idea of ONTOCHAIN is that when this information is recoded, let's say by different sensors, by different oracles, by using statistics and so on, when this information is recorded on blockchain, the judge in the court can use it in order to make a well-informed decision. So in that case, of course, answering to Donato Russo's question is that the idea is that auditing authorities could accept such data, which would be stored either as a whole or in specific parts on blockchain, because we have in the project the notion of storing very important parts on blockchain and certain parts which are not so important off-chain. So all this should be able to be used in auditing systems. You could also think about copywriting materials. So, for example, we prepare research projects for the European Commission. We submit our, let's say, copyrighted material to a specific service that can independently determine whether the information is copied from somewhere or not. So we can, like improve the quality and, of course, help the auditing process. So that's the idea behind certain aspects of the Ontochain problem. Thank you, Marco, for giving me the opportunity.
So a new question for Marco. Can you detail a bit on what is your position as partner in this program and how can we work with you? So I guess that the answer you will give, Marco, will be the same for all the partners. So please.
Yes, I am just a technologist, so I will leave this answer to the coordinator and the
okay,
organizing partners.
Okay, so I will answer. So Ontochain is a European project that have been built around the idea of 7 partners. So European Dynamics, and IntelliSemantics, the University of Ljubljana, FAQS, IXEC, the industry chamber of Greece and let's say the Greek and German industry chamber. And as such, we operate as a consortium. So if you want to work with us, you have, of course, the possibility to apply to the free call that will be launched by us. Of course, in the frame of the Ontochain project. I don't know if I was, if I answer correctly, and if you need more information about that.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So now we have a question from Julian Sauer. If we have an idea for the application domain e-health, then we should apply for topic 1. Is that correct? Yes, yes, of course. Topic 1 is maybe more dedicated to the application, but then if you have specific protocol that could fit to other domain, you may also see if your idea fit well with the other topic. Of course, topic 1 is in that case is the straightforward road. I don't know if Vlado, do you want to add anything about this?
No, I think if the application domain is representative enough to explain the, let's say, complex, the ability to use complex semantics. I mean, for example, Marco spoke about linked data. You saw various different application domains. So if there is one specific topic that could spread or could be used or could provide plenty of specific use cases in relation to the marketplace, in relation to trusted metadata, data information handling, supported by Ontochain. In that case, I think that would really fit nicely in the whole topic 1. So application-related requirements analysis, and also the typical design of Ontochain applications. How does one, like a cookbook, generating a cookbook recipe of how one could build an application in a specific subject domain that is based on marketplace where trusted information, trusted knowledge is very important. I think is the topic of or the key goal or requirement of topic 1 in the project.
Thank you, Vlado. Is there any other question?
So basically, yeah, I will share also my video so everybody can see me. Basically, what we need in the first phase is an architecture and a protocol to cover at some point one scenario, but if it's possible to go to multiple scenarios, it's better, right? So is my understanding right?
For topic 1.
Okay. And what would be the limits actually in the topic 1? Because I've seen a budget of 1.4 million euros. What would be the limits per project for this architecture, let's say?
So
we have 6 topics, right? And in each of the topics, there is the same type of budget, the same amount of budget allocated for each of the topics. I think Caroline has more numbers.
So in fact, the call 1 is based on 3 phases. You have seen the budget for this call, which is 1,000,040 euros. In the first phase that will last 3 months, we will select 18 projects, and the indicative budget for this phase is 500,000, around 500,000 euro. So this is the whole budget, and we will select 18 up to 18 projects. And then in the phase 2, we will retain at the moment only 6 projects. And the budget amount for these 6 projects is 540,000 euros. So we will keep 1 project per topic in phase 2. Of course, based on the quality of the outcome. So you will be evaluated during the different phases. You will have to answer some key performance indicator, and according to how you have fulfilled this key performance indicator, then you will get paid. But the amount will be the same for everybody. The only thing is that we differentiate actually if the entity that apply is a natural person or a legal entity. So natural person, this is you and me as a physical person, let's say. And legal entity are, of course, SMEs, research institute, university. You can apply on both model. And also, you can also combine as a consortium, so different legal entity, or a legal entity plus a natural person, or more natural person. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you, Caroline. Makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, you will have all this information in the guide for applicants. when the call will be launched.
Okay, the same as with the KPIs, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. So when do you expect this to be ready? Like next week, or when is the deadline?
In principle,
the start date?
In principle, it should be next week. The call should be announced next week.
Okay, makes a lot of sense.
Generally, we have prepared everything, but we wait for some go ahead from the European Commission.
Yeah, that's always the, let's say, the border, the crossing border.
So any more questions or ideas or whatever you would like to say?
Yeah, for me,
whoever, I mean,
maybe I inspire also other people to ask questions, because for me, like, it was really, I tried to come into a previous call, but it was overlapping with another call, so I couldn't stay too much. The thing is, like, I like the idea of going from one thing, because right now I have 3 different projects that I've started with 3 different personas in mind. I'm working in IoT, so there is a lot of space there under the IoT world, but also I'm working with the freelancer world, where you cannot really validate everything is under a person, a CV and a person experience versus, I don't know, whatever they did in the past. So there are a lot of opportunities in all the markets at the end of the day. So it's good if you think about 3 or 4 markets ahead, you could structure a little bit this architecture, and you guys did a good job with having the first topic a little bit more abstract and then going through others, which is a thing I like. So that I wanted to start with the positive thing.
Thank you for this. Are there any more comments or ideas or whatever you would like to say from the other people who participate in this meeting? So do you all plan to submit proposals like Ali and Gianvito and Wasim and I don't know, Edelson?
Hello, this is Gianvito.
Hello, Gianvito.
Yeah, I'm from the University of Bari from Italy, and we actually incorporated a startup focusing on blockchain and artificial intelligence. So yeah, we are interested in submitting a proposal. Actually, we will have to focus on one of those topics, because our project actually embraces more than one of them. So once the call is available, we will discuss internally to understand how to focus it. But yeah, the idea is to participate. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for your, these webinars.
Yeah. Also, this is Ali from Vortex Collab. So thank you for this project, nice project and initiative. So I think we are definitely going to submit a proposal. The issue is that our experience is a little bit wide. So we need to define exactly the topic that we are going to submit. So I personally have like 10 years experience with blockchain protocols, distributed ledgers, and Byzantine fault tolerance protocols. And I worked on distributed systems also. And recently in our new lab, we are focused on automotive industry more. So yeah, so likely would be, if it will be an application, it will be close to automotive, smart cities, something like this. Or on the distributed system type. I just have a question, or it's not clear for me. For example, I've been in touch with a lot of industry in blockchain before, and it seems that most of the cases that there is this ambiguity whether an application really needs a blockchain or not. And we did a framework for with the United Nations a report on this, what applications would really need a blockchain or not. And in this case, I'm not sure how, so you have 3 calls, 3 years, and in the last year you develop applications, but in the first year you have also a topic on applications. So I'm not sure how does it work. In my understanding, in other projects, usually we join like H2020. Usually we have a set of applications that we analyze and do the specs, and based on that we choose the bunch of protocols, or if it's a unique platform or infrastructure to build on, and finally we implement them. But we really need the specs of the applications, set of applications, so that we know what kind of protocols are needed. Could you please elaborate on this a little bit?
Well, there is no difference from what you said, I would say, because in topic 1 of the project, we deal with exactly how, let's say, the beginning should be like this, what one expects from applications that are based on trusted information, metadata, sharing. This means, you know, there are already many different scientific works that record information on blockchain, like hashtags. I think we spoke on this in the past webinars, in past talks of Ontochain. So now, how does one who needs an application in a specific domain, and Marco spoke today about many different domains, but you could have in copyrights management, in food quality, in different areas. So how does one start an application where such information is based on commonly shared structure, which is an ontology or linked data model? And then how does one actually establish trust among the ecosystem participants, so that, you know, you have a cookbook, let's say recipe of how you can build your own application, what type of generic use cases it would involve, what type of technical requirements are posed towards blockchain, so what type of information has to be recorded on blockchain, like the hashtags, or is it necessary really or not, in terms of the trade-offs, and then in the final instance, to what extent can you trust what is there recorded? So all this process, from application's viewpoint, is captured or designed in topic 1. In the other topics, we deal with state-of-the-art and designs. Like as we heard, there could be some more stochastic or probabilistic approaches to using some protocols on blockchain or off-chain protocols, application-related protocols. And in the final 2 topics of the call, we work on specifically how we build a test bed that is scalable and can be used to demonstrate such, let's say, trusted knowledge management. And in addition to this, we speak about business models that are related to the actors in the ecosystem and how they can make business around this trusted knowledge. I mean, you could start with an application about apples and the marketplaces in, let's say, in Slovenia. So how do we get quality apples, and how do we know the apples we eat are really of such a high quality? So this is something that maybe it's still in the designs, but such applications do not still operate. And we believe that in this topic 1 and in the first year of the project, we need to design and rethink about all these aspects to arrive with some specific architecture that would be implemented in the second year of the project. And in the third year of the project, we're going to build such applications on top of that. So I hope I understand. I explained the whole logic of the project in a very short period of time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for summarizing again this. Yeah, so let's go. Let me go one step forward. So, for example, yeah, my doubt is that in the first year, we will address like a curated list of possible applications, and then we can define the platform based on this. And in the third year, someone else will propose applications and implement them. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. Yes. So what is the doubt? Where is the doubt?
No, my doubt was whether, yeah, first, yeah, in my opinion, like these applications, blockchain applications are usually very tricky. And it's often ends up that what we will need is actually a secure database or secure communication or secure log, stored secure log. Okay, and there might be some, for example, some applications that don't need blockchain. And this partner, for example, if proposed some ideas in the first year, he will lose the opportunity to work on the application in the third year and will give the ideas for other people. What do you think?
You mean the ideas will be taken by the others? It's because, you know, many people think about having applications that will work for all the world and make €1 billion, right? So I don't think it's the concept of this project, and also neither of the Commission, because this project works on the human values and about democracy and pluralism, which means that building an application that all the world will use it, like in China and Europe and everywhere for apples, is I think so, you know. But rather than this, for building a food quality application, then there could be let's say a company in Slovenia, a software company that could use the prescription of ONTOCHAIN project and build this application for the local region of Gorenjska, of Carnolia in Slovenia. And the people in Slovenia will benefit from, you know, knowing where their apples come from and what kind of, let's say, chemical composition is the food they're eating, and so on, you know. So there could be different ways of mixing the information, which is then stored in a way that you can be trusted and on blockchain, and which would be of a very local nature. So the point of ONTOCHAIN is, of course, decentralization, knowledge management, but that is also having this local concept of localization, meaning that you could operate in your neighborhood, your applications, you could share the bike and the car with your neighborhood, so not with people in China. I mean, you wouldn't be sharing the cars and bikes with people who are from the other side of the world. You know, so having good ideas, you know, there are plenty of good ideas, I would imagine, especially related to knowledge management. We read these ideas in many papers. What we don't see at the moment is that this type of applications are being readily built and trusted in a way that is supporting democracy, which is supporting, you know, verifiable information. So these are key problem types that the project is trying to address. So I think this is the context of the project itself. And one should be able then to, based on this core technology, build such very, very smart applications in many different domains. So we have plenty of ideas, I would say, but we have no implemented blockchains in this way. Many people speak about blockchain 4.0, which is this blockchain with the semantics and the knowledge management principles. So this is the core idea and concept of
Right, thank you. It's clear now. Yeah.
I guess that Mr. Montero has a question or something to share with us, please.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Carol and Marco, for the presentation. I have a question. Indeed, I want to know, or can you provide us some more details about what are the main criteria that are you going to use to select the applications and partners for the topic one?
I will share my screen again because I have anticipated this question. So the evaluation, the question is related to the evaluation process and especially how your application will be evaluated. In fact, the evaluation of the proposal will be carried out by the ONTOCHAIN Consortium with the assistance of independent experts. What are independent experts? These are evaluators that have various expertise related to the ONTOCHAIN project. They are required to be independent, impartial, and objective, and to behave throughout the evaluation process in a professional manner. They sign an expert contract with a declaration of confidentiality and, of course, absence of conflict of interest before beginning their work. Then the proposal that you will submit will be evaluated according to the following criteria. Excellence and innovation of the project. The weighting for this part is 40%. Then there will be a second criteria that will be expertise and excellence of the proposed team. There will be a weighting of 30% for this criteria. And then, of course, you will have the part project planning and value for money that will also weight 30%. You will find this, of course, in the guide for applicant, as well as the template to fill for your proposal. And that's it. There will be more information in the guide for applicants. I don't know if it's enough for the moment, but you will receive the guide soon.
Okay, thank you for this information.
And the process for evaluation will last at least 1 month. We expect that from the moment we will receive your application, we will be able to give you the result 1 month later. Is there any other question?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hello. Hello. More than a question, hello, my name is Gianpaolo Balboni, I'm from Italy. Is more a question, is a general consideration. It seems to me from from what I have heard about the first call that this probably is not the right time to involve a corporation that have more interest to the final application to the end user. It's not already the right time. I mean, I have a number of connections with different industries in here in Italy. And at first sight, I suppose that, for instance, newspaper editors that has a problem with the assessment of the news they produce that are not, and the identification of fake news could find interesting to have an application of fake news blocking or identification over the blockchain. But as far as I understood now, the first call is much more related to technological architecture, identification of block services to be built on. And the end user application is just the top level requirement, nothing more than that. So is this understanding correct? Because I don't see any room for people that do not have specific technological know-how.
I guess I can answer if you like, Caroline.
Yes, please, Vlado.
So the end result of year one activities is indeed the design, the architecture and detailed design of the Ontochain software ecosystem. So the project intends to deliver a software ecosystem that one could use to build different types of applications. And these are elaborated in more detail, the properties of these applications in the background document. We have also shown them a few times in this architecture figure where we say, okay, so we have, let's say, trustworthy. They both, let's say, fit in two category types. One is about content handling, and then it's about content and information exchange. So it's like, and trustworthy is the keyword. I think based on this, we have identified, we have made a breakdown into 4 different potential areas. One, for example, is about unsupervised social networks, where you have to share your information inside the unsupervised networks. So this is in contrary to centrally organized social networks. One could imagine, for example, a news agency operating, and we know about such initiatives in the blockchain domain. So this is not something that we want to, you know, it could be something completely new as an idea, but there are some ideas already there, out there, which are maybe not so much based on the idea of the project to facilitate the use of semantics, either less expressive level or at more expressive level, and both either recorded on blockchain or off-chain in specific knowledge bases that cooperate with blockchains. So I think this thing has to be, first of all, in the first year of the project, designed to the full extent, this idea. And that's the idea of the project. So in these 6 core topics, we expect that the partners who enter the first and the second phase will closely collaborate with us to define this architecture, which is the major result of the first year of the project. And then in the second year of the project, we intend to work on integration, interoperability, and implementation aspects of the first year. And in the third year of the project, we intend to work on some demo applications. So I think the logic of the project is quite clear. And I think that even in the first year of the project, industrial partners are, of course, welcome, because they might have some specific experience in this subject domain that would be really helpful for evolving the project.
So do you mean that they are welcome, but basically for setting some high-level requirements they can have?
Or based on their experience, for example, if they're industry and they have worked with, let me just give you an example. So we have several types of expertise that are actually required by the project. One is, for example, dealing with semantics and knowledge bases. So how you deal with such knowledge systems currently in industrial applications. So that would be very valuable know-how and knowledge to be included, for example, in topics 3 and 4 in the project. Then another topic would be how you deal with blockchains. So if there are partners who already have implemented, let's say, applications which are particularly used in the current, let's say, company functioning. I mean, if certain companies have already successful products that involve a blockchain, that would be also a valuable knowledge that could come in effect, let's say, for topic 5, where we want to deal with different business models. So is it so we can learn from the experience of such industrial partners on how they managed to build an ecosystem around their blockchain application in a way that different actors are willing to use the applications, and how they, what mechanisms they use to motivate actors to take part in such an ecosystem, and so on. So that would be very, very valuable knowledge, I would say. There could be other partners that have knowledge with actual testing environments. So I would imagine a big company that could probably have some testing environment, or would even participate with their nodes in specific, let's say, ledger solutions, or maybe they even have testing environment for several ledger, so interledger technologies. So that could, of course, fit in topic 6 of the project. So I think industrial partners would be valuable partners in our project starting from the beginning. And what one could think of many different ways of how they could provide expertise in the project. And good ideas, of course.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I have seen that Mr. Sebastian Pirle has some question in the chat box. Can you please, the floor is yours in order to express. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, it's a question that's been asked before. We can think of 2 interesting projects that would be hopefully valuable for the Ontochain program. How do we submit 2 projects?
So in fact, it's so Ontochain is a competitive call. So the fact is that the best thing, of course, is to submit only one proposal. In the case you have several ideas, it's gonna be. You will have to discuss first, because we have some let's say specific requirement with the application platform. So you will have to discuss with us in advance when you will have to submit both application.
Who can I discuss with?
You just go to the. Please just send us an email to ontochain.ngi.eu,
Okay.
And we will see how we can arrange all these things.
Okay, super. Thank you.
I guess you have also another question.
Yes, that's because I haven't followed all the discussions we've had. I've followed some of them, not all of them. Vlado, you just mentioned for the first part of the project, you mentioned 4 directions. One is being unsupervised social networks, social media, excuse me. What would be the 3 other ones?
Sorry. So we have these already published somewhere in the first talks of the project, of these talks that we had. So another is the topic of trustworthy services orchestration and related to infrastructures and services. So, for example, how you move containers around and how you find infrastructures that are trustworthy and secure. For example, also in the context of what IExec is doing. Then with this trusted execution environments, also in connection to edge computing. Then you have let me just, I will just open so that I'm more direct with the topics. And then you have trustworthy web and social media. So this is related to media and how you publish and, you know, share information that is not fake information and these sort of things. And the final one is about crowd sensing, trustworthy crowd sensing, which is also related to this censoring and the IoT and how do we trust whatever comes. So this concerns the interface between the real world or the virtual world, which is, let's say, not trusted world, and then the world where all these consensus mechanisms and protocols make it possible to double or triple verify the information before recording it, and then relying on certain information which is recorded and can be considered more trustworthy, traceable, and so on. You have also these ideas of reputation models and things like this. So all that would be outlined in the let's say in the background document.
Okay, all right.
That is going to be published.
Okay, so as we apply for the first part of the project, we will certainly have to gear our answer toward one of those four directions.
Actually, there would be 6 core topics, and these are the types of applications that we have analyzed and would be, let's say, achievable on top of the Ontochain ecosystem. So let me just once again, for clarity purpose, the core topics are 6, and these are first core topic is related to applications. Then the second topic is on semantic interoperability and knowledge bases and ontologies. The third topic is about on-chain data management and meta data management. Then the fourth topic is about off-chain knowledge management. The fifth topic is about the business models concerning various ecosystems, and the sixth topic is about the testing environment, the making of or creating the testing environment for the Ontochain project, which should be scalable and so on. So we need the design study for that as well. I hope it's clear now. And then these are the 4 types of applications that could run on top of Ontochain.
Okay, it's all clear. Thank you very much. We are very much looking forward to apply to the program.
Thank you. So, Caroline, I get it back to you. Sorry.
I didn't understand well the question. Can you repeat?
No, it was not a question. I was just saying thank you and that we are looking forward to apply to the program as soon as it's on FCS.
Okay. There will be anyway a website dedicated when we will launch the project, and of course to make your application you will have to go to the FAQS platform, but everything will be well explained in the guide and also in the website.
Super, thank you.
Is there any other question or maybe idea to share? Okay, so maybe we can close the session. Okay, so thank you to everybody, and we hope to work with you all and to see your proposal at least in the next day. Thank you very much for your participation in this different webinar, and hope to see you soon and to speak soon, at least.